Hey, hi everyone, Shoaib Sheikh here. So we are going to cover some assignments that I have created for Kubernetes course, which is CKA, and we are going to perform some assignments right now on storage module. So we have a problem statement here that specifies a development team requires persistent storage for a lightweight utility pod. Your task is to manually provision the storage layer and attach it to a running pod. Okay. So we need to first create a namespace. We are going to do that. Right now, we are using the code cloud playground here. So let's have a look at our nodes. We have one master node and two worker nodes. Okay. So let's create our namespace. Okay. Namespace is created. Now we are looking to create a persistent volume. So right now in this, we are going to create a persistent volume, which is a host path. Okay. So we are not going to use local here. So let's quickly jump towards Kubernetes documentation for this. Let's go to volume. Now finding the volume for a host path is a little bit trickier because when you search for host path volume, it will be giving you the volume section within the pod specification. Okay, so we don't want that one. We want a different persistent volume resource. Okay, so this is something we don't want. If we want volume resource, a persistent volume resource, not the specification of pod. So what we are going to do is that we are going to go towards persistent volumes. Okay, and there are multiple different types of volumes. We are only interested in the host path volume. So like this one, yeah, we can do one thing. We can use we can use host path, or we can use the local. Okay, so we are not going to create it. We are just going to refer it the template. Okay, now there's some things to understand here. The persistent volume and all these node affinity is mandatory when you select it as local. Okay, but we are not looking for local here. This is recommended for production use case if you are using a local volume, because it's not going to work in the multi-node kind of environment when we use host path. Okay, so not recommended. It's not going to work. Okay. So let's do one thing. We will be using this particular specification and we'll find out what is the right name for this. Okay. So we'll have two different terminals open here. Okay. Let's clear this one out. Let's go ahead and copy this particular YAML. Okay. Let's just copy this one to this much. Let's go to this. Okay. So we're going to create this pv01 dot YAML. Okay. Insert node and paste it here. And now we just need to understand what all things do we have. So we don't need a storage class name here. We are not going to use it. I'm going to delete. By the way, you can check things from here. So it's always to use. It's always good to use the explain commands. Okay, explain what resource do you want to explain. Okay. So this is going to be PV, and for PV we are looking for spec. Within spec we are looking for volumes. Okay. So we have a host path volume here, which is somewhere, that's this one. Okay, that is what we are going to use. So let's do one thing. We are going to remove all the unnecessary lines. This is the remove. Volume mode is not needed here. Storage capacity needs to be updated as per our need. I think we need 200 megabytes. Okay. Name we can have. Okay, let's name it lab PV. Okay. It won't be. Yeah, so let's do one thing. Let's save it. It is going to give us error, but let's see. Okay. K apply -f PV. Hmm. The persistent volume is invalid. Why? Because the node affinity required. The node affinity is required. Required value local volume requires node affinity. That is that's what I mentioned earlier. So we don't need it. We don't need the volume. We don't need it mentioned as local there. So we go here. See, understand this is something it's really difficult to find in, at least for me it is difficult to find in the documentation. I'm still not able to figure out how are we getting that. So this is a trial and error based approach that I've used before. We are going to use the same name mentioned here in the field, host path. Yeah, this one, with the capital P. Okay. And then within the host path, we are looking for a particular path. Let's confirm if that is the case. So we call it as path dot host path. Yeah, we will call it as path, which is a required string. Okay. So what we are going to do is that we are going to take this, going to go here. Okay, and paste it. So let's call it lab data. Okay. Let's save this, apply it. Now the PV is created. You get PV. Hmm. Reclaim policy is retain. That is what we wanted, right? Yeah, the reclaim policy is retain. Rewrite is set to once. Yeah, RWO and storage copy convention. That is fine. Okay, all good. Let's move to the next assignment. Yeah, let's move to the next one, which is the PVC. So let's see. Now let's look for PVC. Hmm. PVC, PVC. This is not a full one, okay? Let's keep looking. Persistent volume claim. This one looks right to me, but again, it's no, this persistent volume claim. Best way to do is, yeah, you can use this persistent volume claim in complete YAML. Volume claim looks good. So we are not interested in selector. We are not interested in storage class. We definitely want resources. Volume mode is not needed for us. We'll take it. Okay. So I'll copy only this much. Let's see. If there is any errors, we'll resolve it. So then PVC01 dot YAML. Paste it here. Okay. We are looking for a PVC which requests 200 megabytes. So almost all of it. Yeah, all of it. So yeah, this is 200 MI. This is something we don't want, so we'll remove it. Access mode is read advanced, which is nice. And volume premium, what is that? Our premium here is lab PVC. All right. The namespace mentioned is -01. Okay. Okay, let's save this and see what happens. So K apply hyphen F PVC hyphen PVC YAML. Right? Okay, work. So let's do K with PV and PVC. So you can see PV. All right. For PVC, we need to have the namespace also mentioned -01. Okay. So now you can see that this is PV and it's in the bound state. So good, great. It is bound to the right volume. Now PV 200 MI is that's the capacity. Storage class none mentioned. So let's move ahead. This looks good. Deploy a pod using the PVC. Now we are interested in this. And for pods, remember, rather than you know, rather than creating your own YAML file or searching for it, it's better to just write the commands. It's much easier. So you can use this approach. K run. Then you need to mention the pod name. What is the pod name? Nav pod. mention this here, then mention hyphen and a 01, that is the namespace that we need. Image is something that's mentioned here. Busybox 1.36. Complete that. What else? Command we can give data. I'm not sure how to give it at this point. Let's see if we can. Okay. So K run hyphen help. I want to understand how do we give command. So we can mention port, we can mention image. Can we mention command? Okay. Two, the extra arguments are present. Use them as the command field in the container rather than the args. Let's see. Okay, this one probably that is what we need. So hyphen command hyphen then some other things. So we can use this method. So let's do one thing. We have mentioned almost everything. So I will mention command also. Hyphen and does it mention how to use it? The CMD and then the arguments. We are going to do it. Let's see. So that it is C and 3600 seconds, I guess. Okay. I'm not gonna create, I'm just going to do a diagram. Probably this might be diagram client. And this is set to hyphen ORM. Okay. Oh no, let me delete that. I think so. It's not taking this correctly because we are already mentioning hyphen there. So let me delete the pod. Delete pod lab hyphen pod in the hyphen namespace and so on. Okay, very good. Let's move things around a bit. So we don't need to mention it here. Let's see the hyphen at the end. Okay, hyphen drive. Wait, I think copy paste. Okay, let's paste it here. Let's try. Oh, great. So yeah, that is what we want. So it's going to give us the 3600 DB box. And from this, we are going to create a pod YAML. Pod 01.YAML. Okay, great. Now what we're going to do is then pod 01 YAML. We will remove the unnecessary stuff, which is we don't need this, we don't need DNS policy, inside of this fine, default stuff. Name is lab pod containers. Let's have a look what we need. This is set, this is set. Yeah, mount path is needed, volume name is needed. So let's go ahead, go back. So now within the pods, let's see what we found. Wait a minute, I think we have it here, right? So this is the pod. Yeah. So how the reference a volume, let's see. K explain pod dot spec dot volumes. I don't know what you're going to say. So volumes. So what happens if we use host path here? But then we don't want to create any. Name of the volume must be a DNS label and unique within the pod. Is it this or yeah, sorry, it has to be processing what you claim, right? So it will be a PVC dot right. We're looking for a PVC. Great. So now it mentions we need claim name and read only. Okay. So we will use this. So within the specification of the pod, we need to add volume. Remember, it's a volume section. Okay. And let me check what is this thing. So if we go back to volumes, what is volume? What is the data type? It is an array of volume. Okay, so we need to have it as an array with an hyphen. Okay, I know this is a very slow approach, but I'm learning right now, so I'll use the same method. Yeah. So within that, we need a PVC mentioned. Okay. We can write PVC there, I guess, right? So, wait a minute. Yeah, we need to, sorry, my bad. So we need two things here. We need name, which is mandatory. We are going to give a name to it. What is the name mentioned? Yeah, lab storage. This is the one. So we mention name, lab storage. Then we need to mention processing volume claim. Important thing. Okay, we have this. And what is the type of processing volume claim? It's not a array. Okay, so it is a map or a dictionary. So we are going to do we are just going to mention claim name. Okay, so without a hyphen, we'll mention claim name. Okay, what is our claim name? This is the one. Okay, good. We'll copy this. Now we need a volume mount within the container. So volume mount is within a container. Okay, so we'll mention volume mount. I don't know if the volume mount or volume mounts. No, no. So let's do. We are going to interested in containers now. Containers. Containers mention volume mounts, which is an array. Okay, array of volume mounts. So let's see what it has in it. Volume mounts mentions the name of the volume, pair, and the mount path. That is the only thing we need. Okay, so we need to go mention volume mount. It is an array, so we need to have it like this. Let's keep things consistent. Okay, and then we need to mention mount path and name. Name has to be the same as the one of the volume. So I'll copy paste this and then the mount path. So this is a path wherein which will be allocated in it will be mounted inside the container. Okay, so it will be slash data. I'll copy paste. Ah, okay. So I think we have mentioned everything. I don't need this stuff. I'll go up here. There are some things that we can remember, like we can use this shortcut for this and click B. It will be B. Yeah, that is right. Align it properly. Looks good to me. Finally, let's try. A apply hyphen F for hyphen F for example. Okay, great. So K describe K lab hyphen for hyphen NS 01. Container is started. Great. So let's have a look at, yeah, this is the one that we're looking for. Slash data is from lab storage. Okay, it's having read write. Okay. So these are the containers that we have. Good, good. This is good. Okay. Now, since it is created for us, we'll validate. Once for the name, write the string. Okay, we'll do that to a file called test.txt inside the slash data in the container. So let's dig in. So key exec hyphen it And lab pod, I don't know, lab pod hyphen namespace and a 01 hyphen hyphen, and I guess it is bin message for, yeah, that is the one. So we'll go to slash data. Yeah, great. We'll create a something, what's the name? Test.txt. Test.txt. Okay, I'm going to paste it here. That is all. And I'm going to save it. It is that test. I missed the test storage. One thing to remember here. So in examination, you can't have spelling mistakes. Okay, so it might lose marks. So let's correct this one first. Please, right, storage lab test. Storage lab test inside slash data, then verify you can read it back. I can read it back. And one extra check that we are going to do is that, okay, let's try the check here. So since we have multiple nodes, right, we can also jump into a different node. Okay, get nodes. Let me see where is the, what is the node assigned to it? Node, what is the node? What is the node? Node 02 is assigned to it, okay? So it is scheduled on node 02. So let's do one thing as a search. Node 02. Okay, great. Now, what was the path? Host path. Host path was slash mnt lab data. Okay, let's see if it is here or not. So cd, whatever this is, good sign. Oh, there is our file, the test.txt. Okay, good, great. Now what we are going to do is that this is done. Validation is done. Bonus tell, delete the pod and recreate it using the same PVC. Verify the data test still exists in its original content. We'll try it. So we go back. K delete pod. Okay. Lab pod hyphen n ns01. And we, by the way, in such cases, if you don't, if you can't wait, let's reduce force. Okay. Hmm. None here. File is still here. Okay. So, and quickly create another pod. Yeah, this is the pod. So we created the pod. We again do an exec and see if it is there or not. Hmm, we can, yes, there. Yeah, we have it here. So that shows about the persistent volume, the PVC, and yeah, how do we mount it with the pod? All right, we covered the bonus challenge also, and that's all. Thank you.